Good afternoon, everyone. Brad Chappell here. We got today's bite show brought to you by Bobby Garland Baits. Got a lot of guys chiming in. Got a special father daughter duo on tonight. And I'm going to let you guys do an introduction and tell everybody where you're from. And we're going to get off today's bite fishing show here.
Hi, I'm Courtney Sanders.
I'm Jeremy Sanders. We live in Huntington, Tennessee.
Huntington, Tennessee. Well, I saw you guys actually win this Kentucky Lake fishing tournament that was brought to Cornfield Fishing Gear, I guess about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I thought it was really unique. And I wanted to grab you guys that day and do a podcast with you, but it didn't work out. And I thought about it and I was like, I'm going to see if I can get them on. And so we've kind of been dancing around, but tonight's y'all's night. We want to hear all about you guys and, the passion that both of you must have for crappie fishing. And we're going to talk about how you caught them during that tournament and kind of some different scenarios. And
Gonna have to spill the beans.
Dustin,
Yeah.
Dustin will have a lot of questions for you.
Oh yeah,
I know
we're
as
gonna
well.
pick you right apart. That's what we're gonna do.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Bring the menace in.
What?
Go get the menace.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's right. Don't be saying that now.
you.
You used
A lot of
what
guys
color
already
Bobby
doing
Garland bait?
we use
25-day crappie connect. Get it going out there, guys. I see a lot of guys hitting it already. It's popping up there. 21 likes so far. So make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead. But like Dustin's already quizzing you, but let's go back to that Kentucky Lake scenario. And Courtney, who caught the most fish during that tournament?
Oh, I already know this answer. I already know this answer. Even if it ain't true, I know the answer. Yeah, that's right. That's
Uh-huh.
right.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
But go to that scenario back, starting out Kentucky Lake, what you guys kind of thought about, and how you actually won that tournament up there.
Set the morning up. We left our cabin. Couldn't find any non-ethanol gas, so it sort of cut us.
Ooh, been there, done
We
that.
were already in the red when we lost the boat, so we had just looking at maps. We got an idea. Of course, we fished a little further south than that. This is the furthest north I've ever fished on Kentucky Lake. And just started out, but all honesty, our first 5 fish, we had a limit in about 10 minutes.
Wow.
So that took some pressure off of us. We hit a Kentucky Lake DNR. Kentucky Wildlife puts out the beds, and I saw the little white cone, and that's where we went.
Really?
It
Man,
was
that's
full of
crazy.
It was full of 10.5 inch, 11 inch male crappie, so it took the pressure off. But the wind was a big factor, and the water level's been sort of crazy, and we hadn't got to fish Kentucky Lake in about 6 weeks up to that tournament. And
Jeez.
we got on it a couple of days before and found some fish down south, and sort of mimicked what we did on the south end. The wind laid down, but the toughest part about that is the spawn. Is a lot of the females either still got eggs in them and absorbing them, or some of them's already spawned out. And our bigger fish come off brush. Uh,
I was gonna ask what
but,
kind of style
Feel like
fishing you did.
casting.
Yeah.
I did. I cast it on the brush piles that DNR put out.
Yeah.
I mean, you cast in there on them, and 20 fish follow it out, and just
Man.
about all of them, right there was acting like they were hungry, but the bigger fish spooked. Uh, we sort of tried to go into the wind, and that did not. We couldn't. We used 16-foot B&M pole, and I downsized my weight and should have upsized it, but we turned the boat around and used the brakes, and just tough day fishing. I mean, it was real tough. We had where we landed the first uh, 2 hours of the tournament. There was a bass tournament that took off. Of course, we had to deal with the boat traffic there, but that's normal on Kentucky Lake. We had a couple of locals come in there on us, and that's just part of fishing up there. It's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of people in there.
And you were fishing the DNR brush piles.
Yeah, for a little
You-
while.
yeah, that's
I
right.
would not normally do that, but I
Yeah.
thought
Hey, it
my
worked.
daughter and her boyfriend was fishing in the tournament, and I was not going
Uh-huh.
to come back empty-handed.
Oh, that's dang right. Hey, you had to have the chest boat out for the boyfriend. I
Yeah.
already know where that was going. You said we're
Yep.
catching fish today, boy. I'm gonna
Yep.
teach
I
you.
wanted, and just speaking to them and seeing them on the water, we were not going to let them know what we had.
Yeah,
Uh,
Hmm.
when we saw them the first time, we had the 5 smallest fish that we could have weighed in,
yeah,
Yeah.
and then we could see them over there hawking us across the way, but we never let on what we had in the live well, even up to the weigh-in. So, but now we use the Bobby Garland. Most of it, Bobby Garland, just pretty much dead sticking them. Just, I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
really.
they wouldn't chase. The bigger fish just wouldn't chase, and just let's
Color.
see one male.
Mhm.
Waiting in 4 females, and all of them looked like they just spawned that morning.
Man. So when you were picking those off, were you picking them off of brush piles?
In between,
So there was some suspended.
we found some fish. I used a Lowrance out. Of course, my boat's set up with just a 1222 up front,
That's what I've
and the
got.
ancient hummingbird
Yeah.
998 on the column, and
Hey,
I
who
got the
needs
big
that when you got a live scope, brother?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But we just backed out and just went back to maps, and finally found some stuff, some ledges right there. There was somebody went in and put a bunch of trees.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it could have been a storm that come through that area a couple of years
So
ago. The
your
tornado.
big fish you caught wasn't in big schools of fish. It was single fish.
No, yeah, it was a single.
Okay, gotcha.
Actually, yeah,
Come on, spill the beans, dude. Don't be trying to hold
He's
back on
probably
us now.
hesitating,
Hey, we're
Jeremy.
live, brother. It's time to spill them. No secrets
all right.
here.
I took a Bobby Garland.
Oh,
I can tell
look
you, I
at
took
him.
a Bobby Garland jig and broke it down to where
Yep.
I just had the little button on it and put a tuffy on there.
Mm-hmm.
And
What in the world?
I tipped it with a tuffy. Just had the little rubber up there
Okay.
on the head of the jig and tipped it with a tuffy. And she had already come up, and I fed her too.
Two
Mm-hmm.
And I
toughies.
watched
You were
her.
trying to get her a little heavier before you weighed her in. I see what you did
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. I was trying to figure out how to get a hook in the tail
Uh-huh.
of the tuffy,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm.
we missed
What
her.
color?
We went back to the same. No, we caught her off an old steak bed. It probably had 8 steaks left.
How big was
And
she?
weighed 156 on the
Yeah.
scales, but
There we go. Hey, it spawned
Bubba
out
scale.
females.
Bubba had her on up there, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'm happy with the result. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
Now, on
thing
that,
about
what color did you catch them on today, or that day up there?
now you're really
we
begging
had the
him.
bluegrass color,
Mm-hmm.
and where's the which one is that?
That one.
Yeah.
Here, hold
Nah,
them up. Hold it up, and I'll give it a good guess.
I don't have them with me.
Oh, you don't have any? Gotcha. Good answer.
A
Good answer.
That's
good taser jig, son.
uh-huh.
No, we
Or bone
used
like
Bobby
Oh yeah.
Garland Vegas.
Yeah.
Opening night has been a decent one. Not really. Not our go to.
Not the
Mayfly
starter.
right now. Mayfly. I think a lot of fish like the blue tint
Oh yeah.
to the
yeah.
Mayfly, and I mean you can catch them on about anything just for profile.
Yep. And the way you
But
present them.
when a lot of times in the tournaments that we fish, the smaller tournaments, we'd tip them with a toughie
Gotcha.
and
So
break the tail off.
you left a ball of the plastic on there with a toughie butted up to it.
Yeah.
Huh. You know,
Yeah.
that's interesting because you almost would think it looks like the toughie's eating on something.
Hmm.
Well,
What are
to
you trying?
hide just a
What are you
little
trying?
color on it.
Well, okay, you're trying to give it a little color. So
Yeah.
then, what kind of jig head do you use? Are you using just a gold hook or a jig head?
Jig head. I hold jigs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Man,
we go
hey,
with it.
you had the kitchen sink on one hook. You had an
Yeah.
eye hole jig head, a plastic, and a minnow. They had no
Yeah.
choice. They had to. No wonder you won. Hey, guess what I'm starting out with tomorrow?
Uh,
Man,
Let's go
yeah, I
back to
like that.
your guys' history in tournaments. How long have you guys actually fished tournaments, or is this actually a complete first one? I think I looked back on your Facebook and seen you had some more history in fishing some tournaments, but
yeah, we fished. How long have you been my net girl?
3 years.
3 years. Courtney's been my net girl 3 years, and my little boy helped. He was my partner for a while, but my older daughter, one of my older daughters, fished a tournament, and we started out back 15, probably 15 years ago about it, fishing some crappie masters events, and we were way out of our league, and
Hey, it was
we
fun though, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah,
That's all that matters. Yep.
yeah, we were the only person out there pushing crankbaits with 14-foot poles, and it looked like you had a whale on it. But you'd be surprised. I mean, you catch a fish and
yep,
then bend all the way back to the motor, and then the B&M pole would bring you back up. I mean, you didn't
Yeah.
miss a bite. So,
Hmm.
but
yeah,
we spider rigged a lot back then, and I would still go back to spider rigging. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if they said, we fish the West Tennessee Trail and we got 6 tournaments a year. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if we went back to 3 tournaments. Uh,
yeah,
you know, real
Doing it.
foot. Real foot would be better if we spider rigged. That way I
Yeah.
could get my old boat out. I hate taking my glass boat to real foot, but
Yeah.
we put it in down there. So.
Now you're talking about the duo here, and I know you said your net girl, but Courtney, what drives you to get out there with your dad and actually go crappie fishing in these tournaments?
For fun.
Just for
Good
fun.
memory. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've been fishing since a very small little girl all your life as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about fishing? That's a good question, ain't it?
Taking over his boat.
Yeah. Yeah, just making him sit in the back and going after it, huh? Yep.
Yeah.
My wife does the same exact thing. She just say, "Move out the way. Let me do it." She say, "I do it better anyway." So,
Yeah.
yeah,
What
she
about
lets me know.
methods? I know you said about spider rigging and pushing crankbaits. What other methods? If you had to pick one each, what would be your favorite
Ooh,
method to get out there and even like live scoping? You're talking about a single pole open water fish, but I want to hear
or
each
not
one of
live
you
scope.
guys' favorite technique and dive into it a little bit.
Ooh, and then I got another good question.
Now with tournament fishing, depends on what time of the year, but I think just cut my teeth spider rigging. I'd go back to spider rigging. If everybody
Had
we
to.
fish against would go. Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like you ain't going back to spider rigging, brother.
No, no. And I'm happy.
That's
I'm,
right.
I'm happy.
All right,
Courtney,
Yeah.
Courtney, it's on.
you're
Casting.
Casting tour.
casting.
Yeah, that's right. I could agree to that. That's pretty dang fun, especially when they're aggressive enough. So now you got to give me, Courtney, because I know you've had one trip that stands out of all of them. What's one trip that you look back on and be like, man, that was the fishing trip that I remember. That was a fun one when you just whooped them, or not.
Probably this year, wasn't
Yeah.
Hey, Dad's
I
got
know.
one.
it? The Pickwick.
Yeah, the big one.
Now, what happened at Pickwick?
So, we went fishing the first day, and we were coming back to load up the boat, and we were almost in the no wake zone, and I
Oh yeah.
start feeling something on my head.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
came a good hailstorm on us.
Oh
Oh
no.
my.
No.
You know, you see it coming, and you're running 60+ mile an hour, and you let
Oh.
off of it about 30
Yeah.
seconds after it starts pounding you.
Oh
Oh
my.
man, yeah, that felt like rocks coming down, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all the
Of
crappie
course,
were
I got the
cross-eyed.
windshield. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the windshield to hide under. She's got nothing.
Mhm. on. We'll have some. I'm sure you'll sign back on. But I want to dive into Jeremy. And you think a lot of little girls out there and guys with daughters. What would you tell those guys that have daughters the benefit of taking your daughter out there and getting them started really into the world of crappie fishing? And what some of the things they can really look forward to having a daughter out on the boat day in and day out there with you when you're fishing?
I mean, I have fun. I've taken all my daughters have been in a boat with me fishing. Some of them don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean,
I
I think that taking the kids out's good. Of course, I'm a little competitive, and she's grown up
There we
quite a
go.
bit over the last year. Let them fish. We go out a lot. We go out just about all pre-fishing's done together, and I let her fish a lot during the pre-fish, and let her take over the boat. I mean, she's getting better at pulling up, but yeah, you got to have the kids out.
Yeah,
And
I
she's
think
my
it's so
media girl.
important. Yeah, make sure.
Okay. All right. All right.
I'm
Listen,
sure take a lot
I
of
have to,
pictures.
I have to ask. You guys disappeared for like a minute. Was I talking the whole time? Was I
Yep.
talking through?
No, you're
Oh, okay. Cool. Perfect. I could not see anything. It went all black. I'm like, well, I guess I'm just either live all by myself or you guys are still on here and it's messed up.
no, you're
All right.
good.
Good.
Right now,
But I
guys,
tell
we're
you one thing.
108 likes. So keep hitting that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up and like button. 108 right now, so we've got to hit 200 tonight. So make sure you do that for us, folks. Got some more
I
stuff to
tell you.
come, but go ahead, Jeremy.
I tell you one thing. If you're gonna take them out, make sure that you sign a contract with them where they don't tournament fish against you.
Ooh, don't tell
Oh,
me
really?
that's going. Don't tell me
Because
that's going on.
and Courtney's older daughter and her boyfriend is like, yeah, they. I made her. I taught her too much stuff.
Yep, you gave her too much information. Yep.
There's some competition we got to deal with
Uh
more than some of the
huh.
pros around here.
Uh-huh. And it just so happens she knows where your good fishing stuff's at.
Well, LiveScope opened that up, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
she's yeah, oh yeah. But no, you got to take them out.
Oh yeah.
The son of mine, we went to Dale Hollow for a week and fished up there. And of course, that's a little different fishery than we got, but
Big black
yeah,
crappie, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yep.
Black nose. Our
Oh yeah.
biggest fish, I think, was a black. No, our biggest. We probably caught 50% black nose fish up there. Just
Hmm.
hard to keep them alive. I mean, we're sitting out there throwing. You're throwing 90 foot to get down to a 35 foot fish because it was
Yep.
like you drop straight down. They come out and then you're waiting. Whatever you're using jigs to go right through them. I mean, they will not eat. But
Isn't that
that's
crazy?
something. But yeah.
Yep.
Well, Jeremy, I know you said you fished this past weekend. Let's hear your today's bite fish report and what lake you were on, and kind of go the whole scenario. What you guys and Courtney, if you're out there, chime in with your dad there and tell us. But we want to
Tell us
hear
the
a
truth,
fishing
Courtney.
report
We
from
want the
this past
truth.
weekend.
So that's gonna be a hard one, Brad. We've got a tournament Saturday on Kentucky Lake.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. You know
that's
what?
But I
right.
know
Hey,
there. I know
We'll
some
skip
of them's
y'all.
watching.
yeah, that's right. You know what? We'll just skip that question, Brad. Way to go, buddy. Put him on the spot like that on
But
Well,
tournament weekend.
I will tell them where to fish. Fish the mouth of the Big Sandy up to about the power lines. There's fish everywhere.
There you
hmm
go, man. That's
Yeah.
way more than I would have gave, buddy. So good job. You know what? You know what? Actually, there better be zero fish out there, and you better just lie to everybody.
There's
You better
only a
just.
couple.
All right, you better just send everybody to a gar hole.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Dustin,
only fair.
let's kick out your today's bite fishing report. I got a good one as
Yeah,
well, but let's hear what you've
I
been
don't
doing
know.
this week.
I don't know if I got a good one, but I got one. We're chasing post spawn fish. It's fine. I mean, we never did get a good bank bite because the lake was 6, 7 foot high the whole time.
hmm
But I think we got a heck of a spawn because 90% of the females I'm cleaning are spawned out, and nobody really got no bank fish. So I'm hoping everybody did good. And the fish are super scattered. They're pulling water in insane amount right now because we got all that rain. We're just a couple foot high, but since they're pulling so much current, the fish are just scattered everywhere and they're moving. So every fish you chase is swimming in a slow swim, looking for bait, and just they're super aggressive. That's the only bonus. The fish you do find, they're gonna eat. So you just got to cover a lot of water and find them and drop on them. But it's taken me a while to get them limits compared to what it normally does. So we're still
Mm-hmm.
making do though. The fishing's been I've seen it a lot worse than it is. So I'm not complaining, but I'm still chasing Roman fish, a big weight and a big jig head with a big jig. Bone white chartreuse has still been a killer color. Slab Slayer is probably the bait of choice right now, but man, they'll see it from long ways and just run up and slap that booger. So it's been fun fishing. It's just not lights out. You know when you're on them and you really smashing them, you enjoy those days because these days make you appreciate it a little bit more. But we're
You
doing
know,
good.
it kicked back even to me from last week, and I go back from last Tuesday night to all the way this week, and I think I've fished every day except Sunday since last Tuesday. And Dustin already know where I'm really targeting, but
Oh
breeder stumps, and I
wow,
don't know if you
yeah,
have
Brady's
these up there
stuff.
or not.
Ooh.
I'm catching fish in 5-6 foot water on breeder stumps, and they're just absolutely loaded. And the beta choice is still going to be the itty bit slab hunter. And you guys, I'm telling you, I don't care where you're at in this country, this bait right here will catch fish, and you won't have to bite them off, Jeremy. You need to try this little bait. That's
A little shot at old Jeremy.
We
really
got
close to
some.
bait out there. But 5 to 7 foot of water, breeder stumps have been really key. Caught some really nice fish, and for me, it's really protecting them when I get near these breeder stumps. And what I mean by that is not trying to spook them off. One thing that I clearly have noticed over the last week and a half is calm days. They spook just as bad as if you got boat slap or anything else. So approach your targets very carefully because these bigger fish anyway will scatter and they'll run off those piles in a blink of a heart. I've noticed mayflies the last 2 days on our water hatching as well, and starting to see a few fish suspended looking for them. I know today we caught 3 suspended fish. Most of our fish are actually on structure, and like I said, I've been keying on breeder stumps to catch the majority of the fish. But if I can find a suspended fish and you drop a mayfly in front of them, that fish is going to inhale it every time. I haven't had one actually turning it down yet that was suspended. And I think those, just because that's what's hatching in the water, and I see them floating on the water. So I've said it in other videos. If you see a mayfly hatching on the water, put you some mayflies on because you can just about guarantee they're gonna eat them. But breeder stumps really good, and then open water fish. And I hit a stump for a little while, then I'm gonna go to the next one. But in between those areas, I look for suspended fish always, and especially when I see mayflies because I can just about guarantee that fish is going to bite right now. I'm trying to find a mayfly. I know I've got one here on my desk,
That's fun when they do
but
that.
it is good but tough fishing at the same token. And
Let's go. There's you a mayfly. Are you using the full size or the itty bit?
full size. I mean,
Let's go
that
right there.
bait
That's
matches
what's up.
the real mayflies to the T because I seen one on the water today and actually scooped it up, put it on the rail of the boat, and laid down the mayfly next to the real
Oh
thing.
yeah.
And the Bobby Garland mayfly is just like its twin. It just matches it terrific. Definitely encourage you guys, if you haven't tried the mayflies, check them out on lurenet.com. Use your discount code Crappie Connection 15, gets 15% off everything on LureNet. And would definitely you need to have mayflies in the month of May. Jeremy, I heard you say something about even mayflies. How do you focus on mayflies a certain time of year, or far as that profile of bait, or you just kind of cycle through baits, or how are you actually choosing that bait for yourself?
Most of the time when the water warms up, we go to that, especially that color, the mayfly color, and then springtime it seems like everything's red. You need some red in it before the
I
spawn,
like
like
it.
pre-spawn, red jig head, some of the baits, but we never use big baits. My thing, I've always been a small, I use a regular size Bobby Garland, but I don't ever go to anything over really 2.5 inches up
Yeah.
here
Wow.
on Kentucky Lake. We don't get suspend. I mean, our fish is suspend, but we don't get schools. You
Yeah.
might
No, I
see
don't.
3 or 4. You might see 3 or 4 pretty much packed together, but that's about it. We just Pickwick. We saw some schools at Pickwick the last couple of times. Some of the deeper water lakes they school up,
Clear
but
water. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but like Reelfoot, they're not schooled at Reelfoot. I have learned one thing though that everybody talks about Kentucky Lake and Asian carp. Some of our bigger weight size fish come up under school Asian carp. I don't know why, but
Oh,
if you
that's cool.
find a school and if you spook the carp, the fish is there. I mean, they're gonna eat. You get a bait in front of them.
Dang.
But we've dealt with muddy water up there, and that's something that I'm not used to, and it's sort of got our especially the Big Sandy River up here on Kentucky Lake and further south has been muddy. I was surprised at the watercolor up at Moore's around Moore's Marina 2 weekends
Yeah.
ago, and that plays a lot to do with it. I think the watercolor, of course, but I mean, there's other methods of catching them, and
Yeah, for sure.
If you had three top colors of, and Courtney, I'm gonna get the girls' opinion here on this as
Yeah, because
well.
she might tell the truth, Jeremy.
What would be your top three favorite colors of Bobby Garland's that you use?
Bobby Garland. It's birthday.
Hmm?
That's a birthday one, isn't it?
She's like, I didn't know I was gonna get all these kind of crazy
Yeah,
questions.
exactly. Brad's putting them on the
What is
spot
it?
here.
Tell them. I don't care if you tell them our favorite color. Just don't tell them our favorite color.
We got a lot
Vegas.
of
Oh,
Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
What's your other
Vegas.
color?
Oh.
That's probably pink.
Confetti. Birthday cake.
Confetti.
Yeah.
Probably opening night may fly in Vegas.
Yeah. Do
Hmm.
you have opening night there?
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried to get everybody to quit selling it though.
Yeah. I was saying if you had any there to show the camera, I was wondering which color that
No,
was.
no, that's one thing that I had a bunch the other day when we left the boat, and I thought I had them in my pocket, but I can't find them.
Well, we better
Uh,
find them before this
Brad, you
weekend.
got a mayfly or a opening night color?
Let me see. I got a lot of
I
baits
bet
here,
you don't.
and I got a crazy story about the color Vegas. Right when I started crappie fishing, about I'm gonna say 20 years ago, probably the first year of it, I had some guys fishing by me, and I kept noticing these guys, and they just kept catching fish left and right. And it's one of those things, especially as a crappie fisherman in general, you see somebody else fishing, and they're catching fish, and you're not. Eventually, more than likely, you'll go over there and ask them. And I went over there and asked those guys. I was like, "What
Pull
color are
the
you guys
binocs
using?"
out. Yeah.
And it was Vegas. And when I got off the water that afternoon, I went to the store and bought all the Vegas that I could, and it became one of my favorite colors for several years. And even matter of fact, they didn't at one time make it in the stroller, which a long lining bait there, or
Yeah.
power pushing or power trolling. I use a lot of the strollers, but they didn't make the Vegas originally into the stroller until Chris Lindenberg is the guy that used to own Bobby Garland Base. I went to Tulsa and I begged him to make Vegas in the stroller because it's such a good color. And I think that color is really good for us. Our water down here is kind of a tea color. If you would take a gallon of sweet tea and hold it up, that really mimics our color here on Barnett. And but that Vegas is kind of a purple tone, purple and a pink kind of tone together with a silver glitter and some red glitter mixed in there, I believe. But it kind of goes in that you know fits a scenario on cloudy days or even sunny days because it has that glitter on top for me anyway. But Vegas it goes old school back to, definitely in my train of thought, that's just a fantastic color to have on a boat as well.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't have bought it. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have bought the first pack of it, but Courtney here
Mm-hmm.
somehow we ended up in a local outdoors shop, and we ended up purchasing it. And I saw it one day and flipped it out there, and I mean, to me, it's a better pre-spawn when they're out
Mm-hmm.
suspended over the deeper water. You know, I don't know if it's a color they see or
Yeah.
what, but
See it a little
seems
better.
like it bait they will follow it and nail it. Where sometimes they won't even move with other colors. But yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can blame Courtney for buying the
Yeah.
first pack.
She's a Vegas girl,
That's
Yeah,
huh?
that's more than a net girl to me. She's
yeah,
picking the bait for you.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe that glitter they see that just kind of gets a reaction bite out of them. They're finish feeding on
yeah.
that shad and stuff out there.
It's a fantastic color, and I think I don't know about necessarily just pre-spawn here, but more of a you know darker tone, just a
Yeah.
natural color. It really mimics like the hummingbird. The hummingbird's pretty similar, but the Vegas has a little bit more pink in it compared to the hummingbird. But it's definitely a great color. And Courtney, I think you picked a winner on that one. Sounds like for you. 157 likes right now, guys. So we need some more likes. Definitely appreciate Bobby Garland Bates for putting on today's bite show. Also, we've got a lot of, I think I did 7 different podcasts while I was actually at the Moores Resort up there. So I've got some really good podcasts coming uh, down the line from Whitey Outlaw to John Godwin. Man, just you name it. We had a lot of different guys up there on the podcast as well. Really cool event that if you're looking to something to do next spring, you guys probably can't fish it again, can you? Is it your only shot to fish that tournament or?
I think Mark said we can come back up and try to defend the title.
Oh yeah, well good. I
Yeah,
think your
we got a big
you,
crosser. We're definitely got the crosshairs on our back this next year, so I'm gonna fill my boat up with gas 2 days
Yeah,
before the
you better
tournament.
do that, buddy. That's right.
Yeah,
and I had a gentleman come up to me. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he said he actually long lined during that tournament. He had a really good bag as well, even up there at Kentucky Lake.
yeah,
I've been up there twice, but I've never been able to fish it just because I guess all the other stuff that I get involved with trying to accomplish when I get there. But you know, I would like to fish it. It looks very fishy water. That water's kind of a green tint to me in it.
yeah, yeah. It's more clear green tint. It's got some stain to it. Depends on, but you get up around the dam, it's a little deeper water than like on the Big Sand in south. Pretty
Hmm.
much south of Highway 79, it stains up quite a bit. But it's just a different fishery up there on the north
Sounds
end.
like you fished Kentucky Lake a lot of years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
What about let me see here. Do you guys ever use a lot of orange up there? Is orange really a color that comes to play up Kentucky Lake at all? Or
I've tried orange and chartreuse, but you know, most of the time no. I've never, we really don't do it. Reelfoot Lake, we've used orange down there in chartreuse or yellow and, you know, brighter colors, but not on Kentucky Lake.
You use colored jig heads?
Uh, Depends really on the water clarity.
Courtney, do you use
I'm not,
colored jig heads? I need to
Yes.
know the truth here. All right, there we go. There's
yeah,
the
he
answer.
uses them. To me, on Kentucky Lake, a lead jig head just as good because it's shallow.
Yeah,
It depends on, I think the water clarity. That's why I use that little bit of rubber off at Bobby Garland just for a little color.
got you.
hmm.
Just a little color.
Give it a little something
What
different.
about, yep.
locations, and we'll talk about locations in the month of May. And I know you mentioned those fish seem to be postbone and things like that. As these guys are coming across postbone areas in the month of May, Jeremy, what do you kind of focus on far as locations in your neck of the woods? And what all lakes are you talking about? I know Kentucky Lake or Reelfoot,
Pickwick.
Pickwick.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to wood structure.
Really?
Uh, just depends on the water temperature. Most of the time, later in the summer, just say June, July. June, they're still up. You'll find them suspended out over the deeper water. Most of the time, they go to the bottom, and then it's a different tactic. Real foot, especially real foot. Uh, we've got a tournament coming up there in June, and those fish, a Bobby Garland jig gets to, most of the time they get scissors.
Yeah.
I mean, it may just be the tail section on a jig. I mean, you just have to see what the fish, especially with LiveScope, if you're going up and you're pulling up to a small tree. My thing, then just take real foot. That fish is hiding behind a stick. It's almost like putting your hand behind a straw. That fish right there is going to be the one that you're going to catch it.
Yeah.
I just can't. Some reason I can't pull them off the big trees down there. I can see them, but I don't know if they're not up there asleep. I tried to uh, hit them with weights. I
Yeah.
mean, Kentucky Lake, you can actually see a fish if you spook it and stay on it and keep it on your screen. That's the thing. I run a visualizer on mine so it brightens the bottom up a little bit, the fish. And you can go along and see the fish and take a half-ounce weight. Uh, I don't like using anything bigger than a half ounce, but you can take a weight down there and just, if you can stop and hit that fish and spook it again, chances are it's going to go away from the boat. Stay with him. When he sets out there and when he sets up, you're going to have about a minute, 30 seconds at the most to a minute. And if you can get a bait on them, a lot of times we catch them. But just the general weekend warriors up there fishing, I mean, you're just find the brush. They don't really leave the 8 to 15 foot of water. Those fish, we've caught them in there, and we've caught them in 8 foot of water in September, being 100 degrees out.
That's crazy. What about wintertime?
Wintertime 2 years ago. Yeah, I used to guide waterfowl hunting, and I
Oh
decided
yeah.
I'd retire from it, and decided the first year I was going to crappie fish all winter, and we get snow, and y'all get snow there
Oh
in
yeah.
Oklahoma, yeah,
Yep.
and windshield and mental buckets freeze up going to the
Oh
lake.
yeah. You said heck with it, didn't you?
Yeah, but
Back to
those
duck hunting.
fish, those no, I hung in and fished.
All
Uh,
right.
those wintertime bite, they don't really move a lot because you know
Mm.
just take the big sandy. Our average water depth's probably you know deepest spot's gonna be 28 foot in summertime.
Wow.
Most of the time, those fish will stay in the 12 to 15,
Even
16
in the
foot
winter.
areas, out on the flat,
That's
but you
crazy.
can catch them.
Yeah.
You have to go with a lot. I think in the wintertime, I think a lot of live bait.
Mm-hmm.
I may be
And a lot
impatient.
lot slower presentation, ain't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like Ronnie Caps told me one time. He said, if you think you're going slow, slow down.
Yeah. Yeah. Go slower.
I got
Down south,
Bobby Berry. He said last hammered the crappie and big shellcracker bass 8 to 10 inches deep on boned white chartreuse, crappie
There we go.
magnet, and 1/32 ounce under a cork in hard wind, West Tennessee. Bobby Berry. Go back there and we're going to shoot some questions out there for you guys. You got any questions for this father daughter duo? Please throw them up there on the screen
Or
and we'll get them
or
answered
father
right here.
son duo.
Oh, oh,
I'm in there.
you
I got
got
clothes on now.
got the wild
He's
man
got
on.
Wild man is what he is.
Absolutely. I'm sure Dustin will have him out there as soon as he can fish a
Oh
tournament.
yeah, yep. I'm ready. Ready to have a net man. Him to tear all my stuff up in my boat. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right.
CJ, he's asking what would cause a lake not to produce very many legal crappie? And I would think, and I think of a lake like that, most of the time it's probably just overpopulated. And I don't know about the regulations on that lake, but I would get with the biologist that's overseeing that lake. No matter what state you're in, some biologist is supposed to be over it. But I would ask them, "Hey, what's this lake look like? Do we need to keep all the crappie we're catching as far as the legal limits and such?" But some of our lakes, I know that they encourage keeping crappie no matter the size. So it sounds like to me, just flat
Sounds
out, that it's probably
overpopulated.
overpopulated.
Yep. Yep. That's
Bo
exactly what
agree.
he said. Yep.
There's Bobo. That's right.
Oh
Got
yeah.
them on there. 193 likes, guys. We need about 7 more folks to hit that like button, and we can get it accomplished tonight. There's one more.
There's
Courtney must
one.
have just hit it.
Uh-huh.
She just hit the button there. Do you ever get to fish Barkley?
Yes, I like Barkley.
Oh, didn't mention that there, Jeremy. Buddy. Yeah,
Well,
kind of left that
there.
one under the radar, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
there.
right. Whoa.
Yeah, we have a tournament up there in September. Our fall tournament up there. Of course, springtime's a little rough up there. I'm not a big current guy.
Okay.
And
There's a lot of current there. Hey, I'm with you on that. I'm not a big current guy either.
well, there's
Yeah.
bays you can get off, but I'm not. I don't really like skipping my boat across. You have a mud flat out there. You got to skip your boat across to get into some of them, and I'm not. Well, I won't say I won't do it, but my biggest thing is tearing my boat up and getting stranded.
Oh yeah. I hear that.
But
If you
yeah,
had
I
some
like
advice
Mark.
for if you had advice for a parent to uh, get their kids into tournament fishing, what kind of advice would you give that parent and say, "Hey, try to concentrate on this with your kids"? What advice would you give them anyway?
Start off easy. Get them
Hmm.
out, bring them fish, do something with them, get them interested. If they're really wanting to, I mean, just enter a tournament. That's what we do. We enter a tournament
Hmm.
and we don't win. We just go back and write it on the calendar what we did wrong, and you know, take it on the chin.
That's
We
kind of
Hmm.
exactly what I did. Just jumped in it, and there's only one way to learn in this world.
Yeah, and we've got. I mean, there's tough competition everywhere, but our little West Tennessee trail, we've really got some tough competition in it because we've got old Coleman, Steve Coleman, Tony Hughes, Chase Petty,
Hmm.
Mark Williams.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
them
Hmm.
are some
we
sticks.
and that's our competition, and you know,
Mercy.
eh, we got high expectations, but you know, but we go out to have fun. I mean, I've
Yep.
never been one to. They may beat us like a drum, but we're gonna pay our entry fee and get back out there. I mean, that's
Pay
the
your
only way.
dues. Yep.
That's the only way we can get good. I mean,
Yep.
but it's more friendship, fellowship on the lake. I mean, as
Yeah.
far as taking the kid fishing, get them out there. I mean, if get them a floater with a minnow. I
Hmm.
use
Yeah.
a lot of live bait. I mean,
The
I
minnows.
still use
You
a
know, the
lot of
minnows
live
are
bait.
the biggest hit when I have kids on the boat. That's the biggest thing is the bucket of minnows.
I've got a granddaughter that I'm gonna have to put two minnow buckets
Yeah, because
in the
she's gonna
boat,
let the other ones go.
and I'm gonna have to. No, I don't want to let them go. I'm gonna have to borrow one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had a kid here just a month ago or so, and I was hearing him say, "Be free, be free, be free." He was saying stuff, and I'm looking. We're sitting there fishing, and I turn around, and every one of them minnows, but about three dead ones, were floating there. He said, "I'll let them all go. They're good. I got them. Took care of them."
And we would trade. My thing was when my daughters was small in the boat, I would get them in out, and I tell them I'm going to trade them for a big mean fish. And
Yeah,
they
that's
weren't too mad as long as they got to
yeah.
bring some home. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, as far as a parent getting the kid out, get them, spider rig, just get out there and drift, but take live bait. Fish are gonna eat. Fish are like humans; they're gonna eat every day. It's just you
Yep.
got to be there when they want to eat, but you can entice the fish to eat them in a. But they may not
Mm-hmm.
catch a crappie. It may be a big old catfish or a brim or a bass, and we've caught some big bass. And we have pre-fishing and just getting out there fun fishing. We put the crappie poles up and went to bass fishing.
Yeah.
I don't want to fish against her in the bass tournament, and she will wear
Look at
me
it.
out in the
Yes.
bass tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
But
So Courtney, Leslie asked she asked you what your favorite lake is. She wants to know what your favorite fishing lake is.
I don't.
Kentucky Lake.
Kentucky's your favorite?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, wherever you win, huh?
yeah, yeah.
And then
Yep.
Warren Brumley, he asked you, Jeremy, what are you going to do when Courtney wants to bring her boyfriend along fishing with you?
I've had that deal. The
Oh,
question right before that, Leslie brought her boyfriend with me,
Yep.
gotcha. So
and
you've done been there, done that, huh?
I've been there and done it. Just
Ooh, wee.
put them in the back of the boat.
Yeah, just shove them
They're
back there.
good at babysitting a live well.
Hey, you know what? I'd be using a lot heavier than half-ounce weight if he went out fishing me. I'd tie it to his ankles and toss him overboard. Don't let him outfish you. And whatever you do, don't let him outfish you. He'll be talking smack all the way home to your daughter.
But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, we rode separate in
Yeah,
that
that's right.
occasion. So
Yeah. Uh-huh. Exactly. And he don't get to use Vegas either.
no, I get
No
him the
way.
4-inch minnows.
That's exactly right. Now we're talking. You know what? Go net him some gizzard shad day before. Let him use the big old shad. Tell him you use chicken liver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What kind of weights are going to take up there at Reelfoot?
Real foot June. What was it last year? 11.
Is that 7 fish
Yeah,
or
it's a
five?
7 fish. No, 7 fish. We do 7 fish weigh in
Mm-hmm.
on our trail. Uh,
I like 7.
real foot would be, depends on who fishes it, 11 and a half pounds. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's just a tough lake to fish against some of the guides that are down there and some of the boats. They put their boat, they know how
Yeah.
to get their big glass boats in the stump fields, and you know, a lot of the stuff comes up north, and I'm gonna venture up there. I mean, I've got insurance on the boat.
Oh yeah, for a reason. That's
Just
right. I
have to
like that.
idle
That
around. Yeah,
that's aggressive fishing right there. I like it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, this past weekend, Enid had MCC fished Enid, and we got the country's best crappie dentist. He coming second up there, and
World's best crappie.
really, he coming real close to winning that. But that tournament up there took over 14 pounds this past weekend, and
Man,
Yeah.
man.
I think about 1440 seemed like, if I remember correctly. I'm sure somebody can chime in here and let us know about it. But man, it was
Ooh,
some
Jordan Sanders
strong.
is coming to real foot.
Jordan, we're not scared of Jordan. We fished against him last year.
That's right. Hey, he
He
said he's
did give
coming.
us a bait. He felt sorry for Courtney and pulled over and gave us a few baits.
Well, there
Yeah.
we go. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jordan's a good fella. He guides out there on Lake Forks.
yeah,
Man.
yeah, yeah. We enjoy fishing with him down there. He's
Oh yeah.
comical.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Okay, Jeremy, who's Logan Green?
Probably gonna be my soon be son-in-law. I figure in a couple of years.
Oh,
That's the one. Yeah,
he's
they're
on
a
here talking
competition.
that. Hey, he's talking that smack already on
Oh
here about
yeah.
outfishing you. You know what? I'm going to let you have your throne. I ain't going to read his comment. I ain't going to even have it. I ain't going to let him have it.
Courtney's got it pulled up right over
Hey,
here.
that's right. Hey, just in case one day I have a daughter, I ain't reading it. I got you, Jeremy. Don't you worry, buddy.
Wonder, yeah,
Oh,
That's
he
the
gives
one you
me a
said.
fit. You
Yeah, that's
know,
the one you said don't teach too much to, huh?
yeah, what I enjoyed the cornfield crappie thing, the tournament, and but I hid back. We sort of had an idea what we had in our live well, and I read their body language, and so I let them drive up Brad in front of us. And
hmm
when Tony Hughes said, "New leader, Leslie Logan Green," I'm
Oh
like,
man,
"Oh,
hey, I'm telling you right now, I
short
promise
lived."
you, I would have T-boned him. I see him on the water, I'd have T-boned him. Make sure your
it
daughter's
was
out there and T-bone him.
it was short lived though.
Hey, that's right. You said it was insured, so get after him.
See,
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
he's begging me to read it. He was asking about that first week Tennessee tournament. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I had the flu and Courtney was sick.
Uh-huh.
Uh, we're fishing the pro division. They're in amateur, and you know, I'm sitting out there. We tucked in. We fished. We fished in the. We got a boat with brakes. We got all the weight in the world. 21-foot Triton. We
hmm
were in there fishing with the weekend warriors, grinding it out, and they got out in the. They got out into the good fish. I just could not go. I just couldn't make myself get out there.
Oh yeah.
hmm
I lasted all day, but I could not go. But yeah, they rolled me hard about it. But they move up next year, so they'll be
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Get him out of
yeah,
there.
yeah. Then we get to hound on them a little bit. But I've done a little tweaking to my boat, and I think they're talking to trash. We'll see what the weight is this weekend coming in. We
hmm
changed some stuff up. Of course, we got the good cornfield crappie mount up front and got it raised up to where the height that needed to be. Of course, I had to do some engineering on that. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it helps. I mean, I am getting older and about half blind, so I moved it up closer. Now I can actually see my bait going down right on the crappie's lips.
There you go.
So,
Definitely challenging. Good luck to you guys. Definitely appreciate you guys coming on tonight. Congratulations, first off. Love to see it.
thank
I see a lot of competition between the family going out there. I think that's what makes this sport great. And you
you.
mentioned earlier about building the bonds with the different fishermen out there, and that's half the fun to it too. Is getting to know different people from Ronnie Caps to you name it, all these different fishermen. It's just the more you get into it, you build this bond with people all over the place. And like I said, congratulations, to you guys. Good luck to your next tournament. Keep us posted on what you guys do with it. We'd love to hear it, and maybe
Thank you.
get you back on here again another night.
I appreciate y'all letting us on.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
bet.
And
Yeah.
we'll plan on
We'll have you on the
getting you
next tournament you
guys
win.
for sure.
When you drag Logan all over the place and whoop him next time, we'll have you up here live.
And you don't coordinate a video it.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're talking.
This Saturday coming up, we might actually put our bass plugs on and follow them around. If we don't catch anything like big and worthy of it, you know, there's a 50 foot, and I think Courtney can cast about 75, 80.
There we go. Yeah.
You know,
Land it in his live well and pull him out.
yeah. So I think she can cast across his LiveScope and bring it
Yep.
across. We
There
got a
we go.
rattle trap, and
Now we're
we
on
can
to
get one of
something.
them big swim baits and swim across.
Yep.
So yeah, but
Most
that's what makes it fun, though. I mean, we
Exactly.
got
Yep.
competition, and
That's right.
you got to just get out there and grind away at it. So,
Yep. That's
but
the
I
fun part.
appreciate y'all letting us on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully
Definitely. And like I said,
hopefully I didn't give out too
and
much information on the
No,
big.
no, trust me, you were tight-lipped, brother. We're gonna have you again to get something else out of you.
that's part of the same.
Yeah, we knew it was. Yeah, we were just pulling strings to get you in there.
Yeah. So appreciate it.
Good luck, guys. Until
You
next
bet.
week, Brad Chapel here
See you next Tuesday.
with Ollie.
Thank- I think he's left.